Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Govinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Okay, so yesterday we did chapter 15. I hope you all remember the lesson. Knowing Krishna means knowing everything. Whether we want to be here in temporary world or permanent home, material world is temporary, spiritual world is our home. One who understands this is knower of Vedas. Then we went to spiritual world or material world. What are the characteristics of spiritual world? That you, in that abode, you don't need any sun, moon or electricity. Characteristics of material world, you go through this life cycle of birth and death, and then we have lost our connection with Krishna. Mamevamsho jiva loke, jiva bhutas sanatanaha, Krishna says. And then Krishna is the maintainer of the whole universe, the body, mind, and the soul. And then the essence is that Krishna is beyond fallible and infallible, and fallible living entities independently want to enjoy. They are always remain in the material world. Infallible living entities, they want to be with Krishna and they never leave the spiritual world because of that. That was yesterday's lesson. Today's lesson, chapter 16, it is Daiva Sura Sampada Vibhaga Yoga, means in English, divine and demoniac nature. So two classes of created beings, divine and demoniac, they are endowed with different qualities, right? So Arjuna is like a godly man. He possesses all godly qualities. Demoniac qualities such as pride, anger, envy, improper behavior. What does it do? It binds people into what? Into a network of illusion. What does that happen? When that happens, what happens then? You have to take birth again and again, right? And where do we take birth? In demoniac species of life, if we have those qualities. So unable to approach Krishna, what do the demoniac people do? They gradually sink to hell. So let us continue with that. Demoniac qualities and divine qualities. So we have about 6 demoniac qualities and we have 26 divine qualities that Lord Krishna is going to explain to us. Before we proceed into the class and the next shloka, I would welcome you to type in the chat box what you think are divine qualities. If you know any of the divine qualities, kindly type in the chat box. Humility, Rishi Prabhuji. Balanced, Loveleen Mataji, compassion, Prerna Mataji, humility with knowledge, Komal Prabhuji, humility, Rishi Prabhuji, empathy, Sona Mataji, kindness, Shivani Mataji, forgiveness, Ucheta Mataji, chanting, charity, Loveleen Mataji, patience, truthfulness, spiritual knowledge, Alpa Mataji, compassion, humility, kindness, Komal Prabhuji, devotion, surrender, Vani Mataji, Anuradha Mataji, study of Vedas and Bhagavad Gita, Amit Prabhuji, truth, obedience to Guru, Shivani Mataji, spiritual and Alpa Mataji, unconditional love. Very nice. Lot of divine qualities you have been telling. Modesty, Dr. Vijayam, Vani Mataji, bliss. Okay. Who is above Tamogana and Rajogana? Prerna Mataji. Asteya, Alpa Mataji. Okay. Above that. Okay. Now 6 demoniac qualities, if you can write down. Jealousy, Prerna Mataji. Anger, Loveleen Mataji. Pride, Rishi Prabhuji. Lust, Rishi Prabhuji. Egocentric, Sonu Mataji. Hatred, Raj Lakshmi Mataji. Ego, Vani Mataji. Lust. I may have missed a couple of here and there, I think. Shivani Mataji. Lying, Loveleen Mataji. Hatred, Komal Prabhuji. Greed, Amit Prabhuji. Lust, greed, lust. Sona Nayak Mataji. Greed and lust. Yeah, very nice. I'm so happy that you already know most of it. Very good. Let's proceed to the first 3 shlokas where God will tell about all this. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhihi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Danam Damascha Yajñascha Swadhyayasthaparjavam Ahimsa Satyam Akrodha Yagashantirapayshunam Daya bhutveshvalo lupam mardavam rira chapalam tejaha kshamadhriti shaucham adroho nati manita bhavanti sampadam daivim abhijatasya bharata. Anybody wants to volunteer to read today? Please raise your hand if you want to. Rishi Prabhuji, okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature.
So yes, very nice. In 15th chapter, what did we understand at the end of 15th chapter? We understood like we are, even though we are fallible, we can move towards the path of liberation just by following devotional service at the lotus feet of God and the lotus feet of perfect person who is Lord Krishna. Now in this 16th chapter, Lord is explaining about the transcendental nature and the qualities and the demonic nature and its qualities. So he is going to explain to us the advantages and disadvantages of these qualities. Lord Krishna here has described 26 virtues of saintly nature that just now Rishi Prabhuji read. These should be cultivated as part of our spiritual practice by to elevate ourselves to the supreme goal. So like first one is Abhayam. Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi. Abhayam means fearlessness. We have to cultivate fearlessness, completely free from worry. We have to detach ourselves from material objects, attached to Krishna. So it is that state of freedom, right? We have to surrender to God. Sattva Samshuddhi is purity of mind, the inner cleanliness. Outer cleanliness is fine, but inner cleanliness, our thoughts, our sentiments, our feelings, our emotions, we have a lot of these, we have to clean that, clean thought, purify it. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthita, cultivation of spiritual knowledge. So when human beings, we forget to how to discriminate between right and wrong, what is wrong, we become like animals, right? There is no difference then. So if we gain that spiritual knowledge, like we are getting from Bhagavad Gita, we will become aware of right and wrong and follow the regulative principles. Danam, charity. Srila Prabhupada says, earn honestly, spend 50% for Krishna consciousness, but it needs to be given to the right person for a right cause, to needy persons. Like yesterday, Namnishta Prabhu is saying he is going to build temple. So if you feel that that's the right cause, then we should give the charity. True charity is what it is. It should be done not with a feeling of superiority. Oh, I am giving. No, with a sense of gratefulness to God that he has given us the opportunity to help. Charity in the mode of goodness is recommended, but in the mode of passion and ignorance is not recommended because it's a share of waste of time. Dhamma, Danam Damashta, control of senses. You have to be able to, this mind is running. Chanchalam, Himan, and Krishna, it wanders right here and there looking for sense gratification. Best way to put this mind in control is to put it in Krishna consciousness. Yajna, Danam, Tapak Karma. So Yajna is in Kali Yuga. What is the best Yajna? Sankirtan Yajna. What is Sankirtan Yajna? Mahamantra. What is Mahamantra? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means study of Vedas, the sacred books. So Srila Prabhupada says we must try and read. During those times, they used to take brahmacharya and they would read, right? So, but now we have to, whatever we are able to do now is what we can. Tapa is austerity. Suppose we have 100 years to live. 25 years student life, 25 years brahmacharya householder life, 25 years retired life, and then 25 years is like renounced order of life. So these are the regulations of Vedic discipline. So austerity means you have to purify the body, mind, and intellect. Arjavam, Shanti, Repoishanam, Daya, Bhutvesha, Loluptam, Ardavam, Rira Chapla. Arjavam means simplicity. We should follow simple living and high thinking policy. Teja, Kshama, Triti, Shaucham, Adrohumad. Arjavam means that Ahimsa. It means do not hamper others by even by thought, word, or deed. Do not try to, even by thoughts also you are doing non-violence by scolding them inside. Satyam, it means trying to not only be truthful to others, but inside also you should know that you are being truthful. Be honest to your own self first, right? Akrodho means freedom from anger. Krodha is anger. Akrodho means freedom from anger. You have to be tolerant. When does anger come? Usually, when you have desire for happiness, right? So it comes when the desire for happiness, it doesn't happen the way we want. And things don't turn out the way we want. Things don't turn out the way we have imagined. But if we develop detachment and surrender to the will of God, then we can overcome anger. Tyaga, renunciation. Tyaga means what? The entire material energy, it belongs to God. It is meant for His pleasure. So everything is His. So we should try and think it is Krishna's property that we are using. That is renunciation. Shanti and tranquility, peacefulness. How? Balance. Even you have external disturbances going on, still try to retain that inner mental balance, right? Apaishunam means aversion to fault finding. We should not try to find faults in others or correct them unnecessarily. We do that. Okay, calling a thief is not wrong. Srila Prabhupada says in his Perfect. The nature of a person, who is on a spiritual journey is to see his or her own defects first. Look into your own self, introspect, and try to see good in others. They may be having a lot of flaws, but try to see good in them and try to see what defects you have. Daya Bhuteshu means what? You should progress spiritually and then try to develop compassion for everyone. Very rightly, devotees had written in the chat also. Compassion is very important. You should have compassion for people. Aloluptvam means what? Absence of covetousness, greed. Greed is the desire, you want to accumulate so much for 7 generations to come, but you must only have that much which is enough for your survival. No need to have so much. Madhava means having gentleness. We should not be insensitive to others' feelings, right? We should try and behave softly, because we are in the spiritual journey. We should be careful as to what we are doing, how we are doing. We should become gentler than we had been before, right? It's gentleness shows that there is some kind of spiritual refinement going on. You will understand by yourself only. Oh, I'm being gentle. Okay, I'm proceeding on spiritual path. Modesty. Rira Chapala. Modesty means one should be very modest, should not be abominable, right? Monstrous. Achapalam is steady determination. We should start with good intentions, but in case we come across some kind of problems or obstacles, don't give up. We normally give up and get distracted and we don't finish the job, spiritual journey or any journey. So we should not give up. We should be determined and try to progress in our path. Then Teja. Teja means vigor. Normally, it's for Kshatriyas. They should be non-violent. They should not be non-violent, sorry. If time comes, they have to go to the border and the soldiers have to fight. That's what they have to exhibit their valor. Kshama, forgiveness. We should not try to have the ability to tolerate the offenses of others. Don't try to, react quickly. Have that tolerance. That will show that you are on spiritual path if you try to do that. Through forgiveness, what happens? We can heal the emotional wounds caused by others. Okay, it's okay. He has done it. Let me forgive it. God bless him. That will also heal our wounds also. Otherwise, it will keep disturbing our mind. Then we need to have dhriti. Dhriti means what? Fortitude, inner strength, inner determination, mental strength, even under difficult conditions, right? If you have to stop, suppose non-veg, it's very difficult for non-veg people. If you are stopping it, it's with determination. Shaucham is cleanliness. We not only have to be clean in our outside body, but inner cleanliness is equally important, right? It is specially meant for these mercantile people also who should not deal in black marketing and bribing and all that. Anyway, we should be clean inside, outside. Adroho means we should be adroho, freedom from envy. So we should not become, sometimes we have enmity with people, then that poisons our mind. So that becomes an obstacle when we are on a spiritual path. Any kind of impurity is an obstacle in our spiritual path. That is why Lord Krishna is giving us so many qualities to follow. So that is why we should be careful about it. Ati manita. Ati manita means what? Freedom from passion of honor. Everybody has to praise me. Everybody has to say good things about me. Stay away from pride. You have to be, you can be proud of yourself. Like, I have done this. Okay, good. But that's it. You have to show gratitude to God. Thank you, God, for giving me this. I'm proud of what I've done. That's it. Give the result to God. Srila Prabhupada says in his purport that even though, these material conditions are there, so miserable, but if we cultivate these qualities by practice, we have to practice. This will come only by abhyasa. Krishna says abhyasa. So you have to do abhyasa. Then gradually we will be able to rise to higher level of platform of transcendental realization. So these are the divine qualities that we just read. Forgiveness, charity, self-control, simplicity, non-violence, renunciation, tranquility, fortitude, cleanliness, determination, study of Vedas, austerity, gentleness, modesty, vigor, truthfulness, freedom from anger, freedom from envy, freedom from passion of honor, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, compassion, purification, freedom from covetousness, performance of sacrifice, aversion to fault finding, which we do a lot, fearlessness. Dambho darpobhimanascha krodhah parushyameva cha ajnanam cha abhijatasya partha sampadam asurim.
Arrogance, pride, anger, conceit, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demonic nature, O son of Pritha.
So now the Arjuna, Krishna is telling, Lord Krishna is explaining about the 6 traits of demonic. They are hypocrites. They want to make a show of religion and advancement in spirituality, but they are impure inside. So that is not right. And then the behavior of demonic natured people, they are arrogant, they are disrespectful to others, they are proud, they are conceited. They're conceited about their bodily positions that they have, the designation. I'm the manager, I'm the CEO. They have such as wealth, they have education, they have beauty, position. They too show off too much. They become angry when they have greed and lust. It is when greed and lust is not fulfilled, they become angry, they become frustrated. They have no control over their mind, very cruel, very harsh. They have no sensitivity towards others' feelings and sufferings. They have no understanding of spiritual principles. They think unrighteousness is righteousness. And these demonic qualities, it develops in mother's womb itself. And as they grow, these demonic qualities become noticeable. It comes from birth. These are the demonic qualities: pride, arrogance, anger, harshness, ignorance, and conceit. Devi sampad vimokshaya nibandhaya surimata mashucha sampadam devim abhijatosi pandava.
The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with divine qualities.
He's assuring Arjuna, you are born with divine qualities, so it's okay. You are okay, you are godly. So he has described 2 natures, demoniac and divine nature, right? So he's telling what is the consequence of both. What is the result? Okay, you have these qualities are supposed to be followed. But he says, if you have demonia qualities, you will be tied to this cycle of birth and death, in the samsara of life and death. But if we cultivate divine qualities, it will help us to break through the bondage of this maya, of this material nature. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that he was not born with demoniac qualities. He was having divine qualities. So because he was considering, right, whether these grandfather Bhishma, Guru Dronacharya should be killed or not. So he was, under the influence. He was definitely not under the influence of anger, lust, greed, or a false prestige or a harshness, right? Because for a kshatriya, killing his enemy is considered transcendental. It's good. It like that's his dharma, and refraining from it, such a duty is demoniac. Therefore, there was no cause for Arjuna to lament. He was, if by killing also, he was doing his dharma only according to Krishna. Devo bhuta sargo lokesmin. Sorry. Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin. Daiva asura eva cha. Devo vistarasha proktaha. Asurim partha me shrunu. Yes.
O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called the divine, and the other one is called demoniac. I've already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac.
Prabhuji, if you can raise your voice, it will be nice, I guess.
All right.
All souls, here it is saying that all souls, they carry the nature with them, where from past life itself we come. So that is how we develop the good or bad qualities. And this explains, why we different kinds of living beings have different nature, different temperament in this world. Everyone is different. They have different temperaments, different nature. The divine nature, demoniac nature, they're two extremes of the spectrum. This is divine, so this will be demoniac. They're so extreme, right? Because the divine beings, they have virtuous qualities. Demoniac traits dominate the lower abodes like Atala, Sutala, Patala, all that. So humans, what do they possess? Humans have a mixture of both. The Devi is there, demons are here, we are in the Bhutal here, and here we have a mixture of both Devi and Asuri Tattva. So it is said, in Satyuga, gods and demons, they lived on different planets, separate planets. In Treta Yuga, they resided on the same planet. Satyuga, Treta Yuga, then they resided on the same planet. Dwapar Yuga, Krishna's Yuga, they were in the same family, Kauravas and Pandavas. Treta Yuga was Ram and Ravana, different countries. So, but same planet on earth. Dwapar Yuga, Krishna, same family, Arjuna, Pandavas and Kauravas. In Kali Yuga, the godly and the divine and demoniac qualities, it is in the same person's heart. It is in us. So after describing all these qualities, Krishna is telling about the demoniac nature. And to help us, how to recognize it, we should know what all demoniac nature we have so that we may avoid it further. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasuraha na shaucham na pichacharaha na satyam teshu vidyate.
Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is around in them.
Those who will not follow, they have no inclination to follow any scriptural rules, right? They neither like nor follow these rules, neither for external nor internal cleanliness. They have neither, not this nor that. So where is dharma? It consists of code of conduct. If you are following dharma, right? Why is it so? Because it will help us purify our mind, in the inner mind and outer self, both, if we follow that. Adharma is what? It tells us about prohibited actions, right? What will it do? It will lead us to go down, degrade us. That many people are there, right? Terrorists, and they get these demoniac qualities in them, and it degrades them, it keeps on bringing them down, and it causes a lot of harm to the society. That's what they do. So they don't have, these people don't have any faith in knowledge, in wisdom of scriptures. They're completely confused about what is right and wrong. They are doing their action, they think that is right. Now modern day generation is like that, right? They have this view that there is no absolute truth. All is relative, is what modern day generation now talks, is how they think, right? Or you know what, it may be true for you, but that may be not true for me, is what they say normally, as if truth is a personal preference. Some may like this approach of thinking, but it's not right. According to Krishna, it's absurd. It's not right. Like, for example, what if someone thinks it is right to ignore traffic lights, even when it is red? What will happen? That person will put the life of others at risk, not only his life, but others also at risk, by doing what he believes is right. I believe it is right to go. That's not fair, right? If no such thing is, there is no such thing as absolute truth, then no one can really say he should do that, he should do this, right? He shouldn't do this. So Lord Krishna is telling that demonic nature, they are very much confused. What is right, what is wrong, they don't know. They don't know what is purity, what is truth, what is right conduct, nothing. So now Krishna will next explain how do they think. Asatyamapratistham te jagadahuranishwaram aparaspara sambhutam himanyattamahaitukam.
They say that this world is unreal and there is no foundation and there is no God in control. It is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust.
The demoniac, they can conclude that world is unreal. There is no cause, there is no effect, there is no controller, there is no purpose. Everything is unreal. They say universal manifestation arises due to chance, there some material action reaction took place. So that happened. That is how earth has come into being. They do not think that the earth was or the world was created by God for any purpose, certain purpose. They have their own theory that the world had come on its own, and there is no reason to believe in God. There is no God. How can it be God? How can there be a God behind it? For them, there is no difference between spirit and matter. They do not accept the supreme soul. There are two ways of following such immoral behavior. First is to say from righteousness through willpower. If you don't want to follow immoral behavior, you have to have that willpower. Second is that we should not commit the sin because of the fear of God. There are two ways. Normally, we do not follow wrong things. We paap lag jayega, Bhagwan dekh rahe. Or we will say that, I will not do it through your own willpower. So there are very few people who want to walk on the right path with willpower, with their own willpower. Most of them will say, oh, I might get punished. For the fear of punishment, they don't want to do wrong, and they want to follow the right path. Like when I remember when I went to US, if there was a speed limit, most of them would try to ignore and speed the car. But as soon as they would spot a police car parked over there, immediately they would slow down and they will follow the speed limit. Why? This is just out of the fear of getting caught, because they will have to pay fine then, right? So fear is. So if you believe in God, out of fear, we normally refrain from immoral behavior. Instead, if we do not believe in God, what will happen? All his laws will still be applicable on us. Whatever will happen to us. And we will suffer the consequence for wrong behavior. But if we believe in God, at least out of fear, at least we do not do wrong things. Srila Prabhupada says, in his purport, they do not believe in the words of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. They say, Maya Dekshena Prakritihi Suyate Sacharacharam. He says, all the material world is moving. It is moving under my direction, right? But Srila Prabhupada says in his purport that these demons, among these demons, there is no knowledge of that the world has been created by God. Every one of them, they have their own theory according to their own imagination. So they are demonic in nature. So at least out of fear, the people, at least those who believe in God, out of fear, at least we are able to follow righteous path. एतां दृष्टिमवष्टभ्य नष्टात्मानोऽल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्त्युग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिताः.
Following such conclusions, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world.
You have seen the terrorists doing it, right? They are engaged in the activities that lead to destruction. Lord says, Krishna says, they are very less intelligent. They have no concept of God. They think they are very advanced, but they are unintelligent. They are devoid of all senses. These nuclear inventions that has happened, we consider that it is advancement of human civilization. It is actually making people insensitive. It is making them more cruel. So many wars are happening. People are exhibiting their power. We have seen just now the war between Russia and Ukraine. It just recently. All this will cause huge destruction. We are being very cruel to animals. We become very cruel to other human beings. We are killing them. We are hitting them. God knows what all is happening in the society. All demonic in nature. They have no idea. That is why it said in Kali Yuga, the demonic nature and divine nature is within the man. They have no idea how to behave. Even Hitler, Adolf Hitler in Germany, due to his demoniac sensibility, what did he do? He sent thousands, hundreds and thousands of people in gallows to kill, to murder them. It created so much of suffering and devastation in the world. That is what Krishna is stating here. They have no intelligence at all. They're completely lost to themselves. Kamamashritya dushpuram dambhamanamadanvitaha mohat grihitva sadgrahan pravartante shuchiprataha.
The demoniac, taking shelter of insatiable lust, pride, and false prestige, and being thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work attracted by the impermanent.
The demonic mentalities here, they have no satiation for their lust. It keeps on increasing for material enjoyment. They want lot of desires for material, and they're full of anxiety. Why? Because they want so much. When you have desires, it's not being fulfilled. You get angry. You have lust. You're completely in illusion. No knowledge. You're not even knowing that you're going the wrong way. You're attracted to two things: sex enjoyment. Want to accumulate lot of wealth. Ashuchi Vrata, here it is written. Ashuchi Vrata means what? Unclean vows, right? These people are attracted by wine, women, gambling, meat eating. It's Ashuchi, unclean, says Krishna. Although they are gliding towards hell, they consider themselves to be very advanced by doing they go partying and they are doing all sorts of such things. And they think they are advanced, but it's not. This is what modern civilization is leading towards. And Krishna had told so many millions of years ago. Chintamaparimeyaam cha pralayantamupashritaha kamopabhoga paramaha etavaditi nishchitaha asha pashashatairbaddhaha kamakrodha parayanaha ihante kamabhogartham anyayena sanchayan.
They believe that to gratify the senses unto the end of life is the primary necessity of human civilization. Thus, there is no end to their anxiety. Being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires by lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification.
These materially inclined people, they are rejecting the spiritual path. Why? They think it's too burdensome, it's too laborious. Even the final destination, we don't even know whether we'll be able to reach or not. It's so far. And they are running after some sense gratification, material things. They are always worried. They are in always anxious because they're not getting what they desire. Desires have no end. And when they get something, they're very happy. And after getting something, that happiness is momentary, right? And then again, they are running after something else. So that running is never end. That's never ending. And if they don't get, they get frustrated. People experience untold worries, lot of stress in this worldly endeavors. Like what? Like, you have to bring up your children, bringing up grandchildren, engaged in you are doing your business. Something is, you're losing something, gaining something. You're accumulating wealth all the time, acquiring name, fame, position, worldly desires, never ending. So what is happening? If they can have some kind of attachment or concern for Krishna's love, what will happen? They will never ever have to worry about Yamraj, that is death, god of death. But what happens is this demoniac minded people, they refuse to accept the fact, and they're very much convinced that the worldly pleasure is the highest experience of joy. That is it. They don't even know that death is very patiently, it is waiting for them to carry them off to miserable destinies. Money is important, but in this world, but materialistic people want, their wants and desires are endless, limitless. They want to accumulate more and more. They don't even hesitate to accumulate money through wrong means, unlawful means. We are supposed to have money, but necessary for one's maintenance. But if they do not have, firstly, what will happen? At the time of death, the wealth that we have accumulated, it's not going to go with me, right? If I die, it will be taken away. Secondly, according to the law of karma, I will be punished for the sins I have committed in earning that money. So why earn money in unlawful way? You earn money rightly and don't run after money all the time. And for example, if let's say a drug peddler is caught, a drug peddler, he's having a lot of drugs with him. So his drugs are confiscated. And then after the case is done on him, he's arrested and he is behind bars. Why? He's punished for breaking the law. So whatever money we are earning here by not by rightful means, what will happen? Money anyway we cannot take. That is gone. Even we have to suffer because of the law of karma. That is what is the situation. Idam maya labdham imam prapse manoratham idamasti idamapi me bhavishyati punardhanam asau maya hata shatruhu anishye cha paranapi ishvaro hamaham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi adyo bijanavan asmi punyosti sadrisho maya yakshe dasyami modishya jnana vimohita.
The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemy will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices, I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance.
These demonic people, they take it for granted. They have the right to enjoy whatever they find pleasurable. They have no ethics, no morals. Just to fulfill their ambitions, they will go to any extent. They'll form all ritualistic ceremonies. Lord Krishna says they will do all ceremonies to amass wealth. They will do a lot of pujas, They want to get some social status. But their actions, they're very mean. They're very low standard. They do not even hesitate to harm somebody, injure somebody, even eliminate if there is an obstacle, hata do usko, for fulfillment of their desires. In most cases, it is when people say I, it is the ego speaking, not them. The ego is identified with owning. It is mine. It is I who has done it. But the satisfaction of having is short-lived. We are not here permanently, right? Let's see the pictures. Who is in the first picture? Who can write? You can write in the chat box if you know who that person is in the first picture. Thank you, Rishi Prabhuji. We'll give chance to somebody else to read. First one, anybody can identify who it is? Hiranyakashyap. Very nice. Prerna Mataji. Second picture. Who is it?
Bhagavad Gita.
Kansa. Very nice. Prerna Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Third picture. Yes, Pavitra Mataji. No, not Narsimha. Ravana, Prerna Mataji. Correct. Very nice. Very nice, Sucheta Mataji. Thank you. Thank you so much for your input. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Very nice. Hiranyakashyap, Kamsa, and Ravana. So these were the people. They would do anything to get the wealth, everything, and then they started thinking they are everything. Aneka chitta vibhranta mohajala samavritaha prasaktah kama bhogeshu patanti narakeshu chau. Who would like to read? Okay, Kavita Mataji.
May I?
Thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, one becomes too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and falls down into hell.
So why do they fall down into hell? Because of ego. Because we identify with our mind, and that becomes a repetitive process, thought process. They become possessed by their mind, which goes on and on like a broken record. Like we start complaining and whining. And every time we are whining and complaining, what is happening is, it is this complaint, I'm unhappy about somebody. So please mute yourself in case. So they are whining and complaining about, and every time we have some problem with somebody, the mind is making up another story. It is waving up a story inside our brain. And we start thinking, she must have done like this. No, I think she did this. This voice in the head, it keeps telling us. It will make anxious stories, anger stories about our life. It will make us feel like we are a victim. And we are poor individual. We are, it's happening so much. When this complaint in our head, it worsens, it will turn into resentment. We start hating that person. And when this resentment becomes long-standing, I have hated her for so long time because I had this thing against her in my mind, it becomes a grievance. So in this verse, Lord Krishna is telling that these demoniac people, they choose to live in this kind of mesh of delusion. It is created by ego, right? And it creates a lot of numerous thoughts of very, very poor quality. The thoughts are not of good quality. Actions are important in this world. Whatever actions people perform, they will get corresponding result, corresponding taste, fruits. So we have to face, everyone has to face karmic consequence of our action, right? So principle is very simple. What is the principle? Like we learned in last 14th chapter, what did we learn? Urdhvam gachanti sattvastaha, madhye tishtanti rajasaha, jaganya guna vrittistaha, adho tishtanti tamasa. So who are in goodness will go to heavenly planets. They will go up. If those who are in the mode of passion will go to earthly planets. Those who are in the mode of ignorance, they will go to lower hellish planets, right? So here Mohajala ikkada, what is it? Aneka chitta vibhranta mohajala samavrita means what? Jala means like net. So it's like a fish caught in the net. We have no way to come out of it if we are going to be like this. Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham cha samshritaha mamatma paradeheshu pradvishanto bhyasuyakaha.
Bewildered by the false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demon becomes envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in his own body and in the bodies of others, and blasphemes against the real religion.
So what all we have? False ego, strength, pride, lust, anger. They become envious of even Lord. Lord Krishna describes people possessing a demoniac nature. They are mean, they are cruel, they are aggressive, they are rude. They do not possess any righteous qualities in themselves. They are, in fact, we try to find faults in others, except ourselves. In everyone we'll find fault. That such people like to find faults in others. They consider themselves almighty, very important person, VIP. And as a nature of boasting, they will keep boasting about, I have got this, I've got that, I've got this. And they are definitely envious of other sexes. They cannot tolerate if somebody is succeeding. So if there anyone opposes their plan, they become very angry. And that what will happen? They will try to not listen to anybody. They will not respect anyone. And then again, they don't respect God itself, who is within their own heart and the hearts of others, supreme soul. They don't respect God also. They think they are independent, they are powerful in every action. No one is equal to them in strength. They think they have every power to do whatever they can do, they want to do, they can do. There's so many, we know so many beings like that. No one can stop. These gundas are there. They think they can do everything. No one can stop them. They don't know they will die one day and they have to face their karma. If he has an enemy who is like checking the advancement of his activity, whatever he wants to do, somebody is creating hindrance, he will make a plan to just remove him out of his way because he is in a powerful position. These people, they do like that. Tanaham dvishitah kruran samsareshu naradhamam shipam yajasrama shubhan asurishveva yonishu.
Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life.
You do such things, you will have to come back into this. So Lord Krishna is again describing the mentality now this time. What is their mentality? He says in their next life, he will give them birth. But where? In the family with similar mentalities, where they will get suitable demoniac environment. If you are wondering why my house is like this, why I have so this kind of in-laws, that father, this father-in-law, that friend, this, they're also bad. Why? You have to now start thinking, introspecting, because he says, God says that he will give birth in such families only. So from this verse, we understand that it is not in our hand, not in the soul's hand to choose the species for the next birth. Only God, he can decide according to the nature and the karma of whatever karma we do, right? In this verse, it is clearly indicated that he places that individual soul in that particular body. And it is the privilege, it is the right only of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Even in Bhagavatam, we have read that an individual soul after his death, he is put into the womb of a mother, where he gets a particular type of body under the supervision of Supreme Lord. Supervision is there. So we know in this material existence, we have seen so many species, right? Like animals, we've seen insects, men, so on. How are they into being? We wonder. It's because of his arrangement, because of Supreme Personality of Godhead's supervision. It's not accidental. So these demoniac people, it is very clearly said over here, they will be perpetually put into the womb of demons. And then they will continue to be envious. They will no freedom. They will continue to go into such wombs. Asurish yonima panna mudha janmani janmani mama prapyaiva kaunteya tato yantyadhamam gatim.
Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demonic life, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink to the most abominable type of existence.
It's so clear. Krishna is so nicely telling. It's known that God is actually so merciful. But here we see that God is not merciful to demoniac, right? It is clearly stated that life after life, they will put into the wombs of similar demons. And they will not they will not get any mercy from the Lord. And they will go down and down and down. That's what Krishna is saying. They sink down. So they will go down and down. and they will achieve the bodies of like hogs, dogs, and cats. And even down, further down also, that's what it's there in Bhagavad Gita now, right? It is clearly stated. It's written in Vedas also that such demons, they have no chance of receiving mercy of God at any stage of their life.
Demon.
So it may be then argued that in this connection, that God should not be like, it's not be advertised that, oh, he is so merciful, God is always merciful, and he's not so much. If God is not so merciful to God, why are they advertising that God is so merciful? But the answer is here only. Answer says that we find, it's there in Vedanta Sutra also, that we find that Supreme Lord has no hatred for anyone. The placing of asuras, the demon, in lower status of life is simply is another feature of mercy also. He is making them fall so that they get that realization at some point of time. Sometimes these asuras are killed by Lord himself, right? If they become so demonic, Lord has to come to kill them. We have seen so many, right? Then once they are killed by God, they become liberated because they have been killed by God. They go to that level. The demonic nature goes to that level. We have so many instances in history, right? Ravana, Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu, to whom Lord appeared in various incarnations just to kill them. So therefore, God's mercy is shown to asuras if they're fortunate enough to be killed by him. Otherwise, they have to, unless and until they do some kind of good deed, they will never be able to get out of it. Trividham narakasedam dwaram nashanam atmanaha kama krodhastatha lobaha asmate tatrayam tyajet.
There are three gates leading to this: hell, lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul.
Three gates to hell. So the beginning of demoniac life is described here, right? Once you try to satisfy the lust, right? So what happens? One tries to satisfy his lust, and when he cannot, what happens? Anger and greed, they will come. You try to satisfy lust, it's not happening. So naturally, what will happen? Anger and greed will follow. So a well-balanced person, he who does not want to go down to this demoniac lifestyle and doesn't want to lead such a life. So what we have to do? We have to give up these three enemies. They are the gates to hell, Krishna says, right? So they will kill us. They will kill us to an extent that there will be no possibility of liberation from this life, from this Maya, this material entanglement. So Lord Krishna is telling lust, anger, greed. They are the foundations from where the demoniac vices develop. They will irritate the mind, first of all. And, they will then irrigate also with all this. And then they will make a suitable foundation for all other vices to come inside. Slowly, Krishna is saying that he has labeled it. He says he has called it three gates. Such a nice name title he has given, three gates to hell, gateways to hell. And he's strongly advising us, please get away from this, avoid. It will destroy you, right? Those who are desirous of going towards self-realization, we have to learn that we have to stay away from all this. So the lesson we are learning is, if we are thinking that we are the controller, we are the enjoyer, I am perfect, I am the most powerful. So then I think I'm very happy because staying in whatever I'm getting with lust, greed, and anger and everything. I'm Lord of everything. If you are thinking like that, if your mentality is like that, then we are demonia. Three gates to hell. Again, just to summarize, because this is an important point that we have to stay away from this. They do not know what is right, what is wrong. They do not follow Shastras. They are self-centered. They don't have good behavior, improper behavior. They are not at all honest. They're unclean inside and out, right? So let's say this first one you see, like Kauravas, they had anger towards Pandavas, and then they had greed to get the Hastinapur, Duryodhan especially, and then he had lust towards Draupadi. So don't you see this anger that was towards Pandava, lust, towards Draupadi, greed towards Hastinapur. 3 gates to hell. एतैर्विमुक्तः कौन्तेय तमोद्वारैः स्त्रिभिर्नरः आचरत्यात्मनः श्रेयः ततो याति परां गतिम्.
The man who has escaped these 3 gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination.
That is what in this verse Lord Krishna is saying. The result of you, if you renounce lust, anger, and greed, we have to renounce this, right? So we have to be very careful of these 3 enemies. They are like enemies only to us: lust, anger, and greed. The more we get free from this, the more we become pure. The more you get away from this, you yourself will start feeling inside the purity. And if we are following the rules and regulations that are given in Shastras and Vedic literature, we will slowly rise above in the path. People ask how to go, how to proceed, how to proceed. First, get away from these 3 gateways of hell. And if you are very fortunate, and if you are properly following the rules and regulations, and we will be able to rise to the platform of Krishna consciousness, right? And then when we are elevated to highest position, what is that? Self-realization. How will we get self-realization? By doing devotional service. Devotional service will give us liberation. That is for sure. So first step is what? The lesson we learn from what Krishna is telling us is, first step is towards cure, is we have to diagnose our problem. What is the problem? We have to check in all aspects. Do I have these tendencies? Am I having lust? Am I having greed? Am I having anger? What is happening? And then slowly take Krishna's help. Here's our doctor. Take Krishna's help to uproot them, right? There is different prescription for different diseases, right? So that's why we need a spiritual mentor. Acceptance of a spiritual master is needed to guide us accurately, right? According to whatever symptoms we have. So spiritual master will guide us how to go. Then we study Vedas and practice austerity, able to control our senses, get some spiritual knowledge, and ultimately reach Krishna. That is how our progress is going to be. That is the progress report. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Shishtastakam said, Trinadapi sune chena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniyasya sada harihi. One should chant the holy name of Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and we should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of Lord constantly. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, like when you go and step on the grass, you see, it is so soft, it bends. We have to be like that, completely humble. Trinadapi sunichena, like a blade of grass. Tarorapi sahishnuna, like a tree. It stands there. Even you cut it also, whatever you do, it will give us shade. It never says that these people, they cut me, I will stop giving them shade. It is still tolerant of us. Amanina manadena kirtaniyasya sada hari. So he's telling that we need to have such divine qualities, be humble, act in mode of goodness. Yashastra vidhimutsrijya vardate kamakarataha nasa siddhimavapnoti na sukham na param gatim.
He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection, nor happiness, nor supreme destination.
So if we leave the scriptural increments, these scriptures are the guide maps. They have been given to us so that we follow a certain path towards enlightenment. They give us knowledge. They are giving us understanding. And if we give away these scriptural injections, we discard it, what are we doing? They give us instructions on what to do, like Shastra Vidhi, or what not to do. Shastra Nished. Don't do this, don't do that. It is telling us what is right, what is wrong. Because we ourselves don't have such discriminatory power, so we need to read that. But the ways of demoniac people, it's a reversal of this teaching of scriptures. They are engaging in whatever is prohibited. They are refraining from whatever is recommended to do. Right? So such referring to such people, Lord Krishna is telling and he's declaring that those who renounce the authorized path and they're acting according to their own whims and fancies and by the impulses of their own desires, they will not achieve the true knowledge, he says. They will not get perfection. They will not get happiness. They will not get the supreme destination. What is the supreme destination? It is liberation. Where? Go to where? Krishna. Back to Godhead. We have to get liberated from this material bondage. A person who knowingly is violating the rules and acting in lust, anger, and greed, and he knows that it is forbidden, is still acting in, what do you call him? Is acting whimsically according to his own ideas, his own imagination. He knows this should not be done, but he still does it. He's called whimsical. Such people are condemned. Krishna is condemning such people. Says such people, they will never achieve perfection in this human life. This human life has been given to us so that we can purify our existence. But if you don't follow it, don't follow the rules, regulations, don't want to do it, you cannot purify yourself and you cannot get the happiness, Krishna says. Tasmat shastram pramanam te karya vyavasthitau jnatva shastra vidhanoktam karma kartumiharhasi.
One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated.
That's what Krishna says. Krishna is giving the final conclusion of this teachings of this chapter. What is he saying? He is comparing and differentiating between divine and demoniac nature, right? He highlighted how demoniac nature, it leads us to hellish condition. And he established that nothing is going to be gained by discarding the scriptures. You want to discard scriptural injunctions, you will gain nothing. And he is driving home the point that it is Vedic scriptures. They are the absolute authority. Lord Krishna is concluding and he's telling Arjuna to comprehend the teachings of the scriptures and act according to what scriptures tell us to do, right? These are some of the defects of human society. That is why it is leading us to demoniac status of life. Nobody is following proper scriptures in today's modern world. Why do you think there is so much so much of violence happening in this world? There is a reason for it. If we are able to be guided by a bona fide spiritual master who will help us to lead towards the path of elevation, like in this picture, Krishna and Balarama are sitting and his guru Sandipani Muni is guiding them. So if we can also be guided by a bona fide spiritual master, then we will be able to go to a higher Krishna consciousness state, right? So what have we learned in this? Completely, the results are based on the process. If you want Krishna, don't settle for anything less other than devotional service. We want results, right? So the process is devotional service. So this, if you, everyone has a choice. If you perform act for self-realization, you have to follow scripture. You will be able to escape the gates. Gate is lust, anger, greed, and you will attain the supreme destination. If you reject scriptures, you act whimsically, you will be miserable and you will degrade. So you draw your Lakshman Rekha today. You have a choice. We finished with chapter 16. What did we learn in chapter 16? Divine and demoniac qualities. 26 divine qualities Krishna explained. 6 demoniac qualities he told us. And then he said demoniac nature. Then their activity, mentality, qualities. They don't know what is right and wrong. They don't follow shastras, self-centered, improper behavior. They are not honest, rude. You say everything, whatever we think is about demoniac these days. There is a choice, right? Everyone has a choice to follow. The 3 gates to hell are lust, anger, and greed. This is chapter 16. We are done with it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakalparupasya kripasindhubhyo evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. We have to stop the recording.